So today, Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, was inaugurated, as well as his Vice President, the first female, Black, and Asian Vice President, Kamala Harris. And I have a lot of feelings, honestly. I'm gonna do my best to not make this a thing where I attack the previous president or any of his supporters strictly for by virtue of who they are, because that's not the point of why I do anything. I don't want to target anybody, but the primary feeling that I have is relief and joy, because I know how cheesy this will sound, but as a country, we did not fail. We did not let hate and some other words that I don't want to use, but we didn't let hate and dishonesty win. Not again. I strongly believe that if the past 4 years have done anything for this country, it has shown us the truth about ourselves and the people around us. Many people, myself included, have probably learned less than favorable things about people that we respected, admired, trusted, loved, looked up to, relied on. And for some people, that is a disagreement that can be worked past. That is something that you can overcome, and your relationship will still be okay. For others, that is a really big deal, and there is no just bouncing back from that. And that's something that I completely understand. However, I am very thankful that, at least this is how it appears to me, I think that the things that have taken place since November 8th, 2016, have awakened some feelings and opinions in the minds of people who would otherwise be indifferent or typically just against the idea of democracy in the first place. And it may have encouraged a number of young people or otherwise indifferent people to get out and do something that they would have never considered, which was vote this past year. More people voted in the 2020 election than ever before. And that's amazing to me. Joe Biden got more votes than any presidential candidate in the history of time. I mean, even though Trump lost, he got the second most votes ever. There's not much to say about that, but it happened. It's incredible how many people voted this time. But I am glad that we as a country have decided that we have higher standards, that we want a president who believes in balancing the economy, believes in climate change, trusts scientists, listens to the advice from experts in subjects where he's not the most educated. A president who isn't homophobic, isn't racist, isn't xenophobic, isn't a misogynist. A president who doesn't pick and choose which Americans matter at any given time, doesn't classify a marginalized group of American citizens as thugs or animals, or tells them that they have nothing to lose and so they might as well vote for him, and doesn't refer to an entire country as a shithole because the people in that country aren't born with silver spoons like he was. A president who didn't lie and cheat and bully and steal and harass his way to where he was. A a president who puts the well-being of his country before his own self-interest. Those are the types of things that I consider to be important. A president who, just in his campaign alone, didn't say and do things that made other foreign dignitaries dislike him and never want him to come visit their country. A president who, above all else, carries himself with dignity and self-respect and respect for his fellow man, and is, competent and actually has goals and ideas, and doesn't just want to say things that will highlight specific people and get them all riled up. Because there was clearly something about the last guy that resonated with a certain group of people in a very profound way. What we witnessed 2 weeks ago at the Capitol building was not normal. It's not something that can just be expected of American citizens at a moment's notice. It's not something that just, it's Thursday, let's do this today. That's not what that was. That was years of hateful and spiteful and rage-driven feelings and emotions manifesting in one of the ugliest ways possible, lashing out at something that they didn't like. And where do you think they learned that from? When you say things like, there are good people from this country, but they're not the ones that make it into here. The only ones that come here are the criminals and the drug dealers and the ones who sexually assault people, or that the men of this particular race of Americans don't have jobs, don't have places to live, and all they do is kill each other, and all they are is thugs, so why not vote for me? Or when you say that we need to build a literal barrier between ourselves and a country that we are attached to at the hip. Or when you say that countries across the sea are so neck deep in what we do that we can't trust our own leadership. When you plant these seeds of discord for no real reason other than to target specific people that you can get to vote for you, these are the sorts of things that happen. On the other hand, though, when you carry yourself throughout your campaign with the promise of love and caring and respect and compassion, and you actually lay out realistic ideas like, hey, wind energy, sustainable housing, stuff like that, cleaning up the I want to say the atmosphere, but that's not exactly how that should be phrased. Reducing waste, reducing our overall pollution. I sounded real smart up until that point. But overall, just having somebody in charge making decisions that has some decency and knows what he's doing is very reassuring to me. And I hope, because even though the last guy's most diehard supporters can come across as a little bit unhinged, I really hope that we can move past everything that has been happening, and that when whoever is up after Joe, if it is Kamala, if it ends up being AOC at some point or whatever, even if Mitt Romney decides to run again at some point, I don't care. I just want America to be seen as a nation with its head screwed on tightly enough. I want people to get along again. I don't want people arguing all over my timelines on every platform about what the guy in the chair said or did this time. I want to be able to get on Twitter without being scared that whatever is trending is probably going to really frustrate me and make me embarrassed of the country that I live in. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I personally have been terribly and deeply and thoroughly affected by decisions that Trump did or did not make. Because on a personal level, I have not really been that drastically affected by any of the 4 people that have been president in my lifetime. Well, 5 now. But as a nation, there's more to consider than just me and what's happening to me. There are hundreds of millions of people that live here, and we have to think about all of them. And it's with all that in mind, I ask you to be kind to each other. No, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. And I'll see you next time.